welcome to the start of the 2023 Belcar Endurance Championship. There were some worries about the championship after the prototypes category was cancelled last year, but the championship is doing very well indeed with 34 cars on the grid for this opening race on Circuit Zolder. When the prototypes were gone, people thought it would be the death knell for the Belcar. That turns out not to be true. No, indeed, that was said then, and it was a difficult decision. I know some people had invested in those cars, but on the other hand, we also have to look at the public, and I think they are more interested in seeing a Lamborghini, Audi, Porsche, BMW, or other brands competing for victory in an endurance race. This is the champion, the reigning champion, the BEC Car Sport Audi of father and son Langin and Peter Gullings. Pat, what is it like to be in a team with your son? It's very bad. He's faster than me after all. No, it's an excellent thing. I have to make sure I stay motivated and I'm in top shape to get close to his lap times. And I'm also coaching Peter Gullings, and our team boss Anthony Kumping is of course always harassing me as well. This is the Belgian racing team at one of their squads, Jos Manton and Koen Wouters, practicing the crucial driver changes. You can easily lose 5 or 6 seconds, even more, with the driver change, and it's very hard to find that time on the circuit. So 60 seconds to pit in and pit out. If it's 61, it's 1 second too many. So we have to practice, and again tomorrow, and every time before every race, indeed. This is a Porsche of Red Ant Racing with Stephen Bellinging making his comeback. Yes, we have returned to our first love, to the Belcar. Dirk and Tom van Rompuy had asked me if I wanted to race Belcar again, and I agreed, but only if it was a good car. And this is a good car, but I have to admit that I have to adapt again, but it's been a long time since I'd raced on a circuit, and I can feel that now. Michael de Keersmaker and Gino Kenis are racing together in the smaller GT category, and so are their children, but they are active in the touring car category at the wheel of this BMW. For me, there is nothing more beautiful than this. I think this is perhaps the best aspect about it. It's super fun to practice this sport, but for me the best aspect is being able to do it this with my dad. It's been a little crazy, wasn't it? She was doing a good job, and as a reward I said, just do a rally, that's fun, I do that too. But that was a bit of a mistake of my part, because the racing microbe went to her, and eventually the Belcar program was added. Michael and I have known each other for so long, and Jonas started driving too, and one thing led to another. This is the Works family with the new BMW from JJ Motorsports. It's readjusting, it's starting from scratch again. It's like every year it's starting over, every time, every year, every season. The Dardale Porsche of Dylan Dardale and Michael Cole is one of the favourites for this season, and they're good in qualifying as well. Yes, that's very nice. We were also evenly matched, Jos and I. Jos was a tenth slower than me, and that leads to a healthy competition. Usually that turns out badly between teammates, but we allow each other that. We also share all information. If a car wins, it wins. Then I just have to be faster. I'm pretty happy with the performance of both cars. In qualifying, the Belgian racing Porsche of Dardale ended up in 4th, with this Audi of the Langin family and Gullings in 2nd. But the pole position, the first pole position of this year, was for Cedric Wouters and the Totaalplan Racing Lamborghini. I think we made the right choice to set a time early. We already saw in free practice that it can be very busy with a big speed difference between the cars, so we tried to get a clear lap, and we succeeded in doing that. The first lap was right away, was a good one. I also felt I couldn't do much better. There were some small mistakes, but I felt it could be good enough, and we didn't take any more risks. In GTB, the smaller GT category, this M4 GT4 of Kenis de Keersmaker and de Jonge set the 3rd time with the 88, the TCL Motorsport BMW of the Klaver Zalen. Went into 2nd in qualifying. Then there was an issue for the Hannover Motorsport M4 GT4. One of the Verhoevens put it in the wall, but it was quickly pulled out, and it even managed to set the fastest time after that. This is the BMW of Junior Plankhardt and Mathis Lismont, also a BEC Car Sport car, driving in the TA class, the bigger of the touring car classes. set the third time in qualifying, with the second time going to Fred Capras in the GA Racing BMW. The fastest time for the Seat of Van den Hove.
Dus voor ons eerste keer in de Belcar en direct...
It's our first time in Belcar, and finishing qualifying with pole position is great fun for us, for the whole team. Good performance as well for Convents, with the Convents racing team in third in TB.
Dat is begonnen van in de karting,
It's starting from karting and then from karting to cars. It's a hobby that got out of hand. I'm a car dealer myself, and yes, one thing leads to another, of course. In second, the Wax Motorsport BMW 330i, and the fastest time in the small touring car category, the TB category, was for the VDW Motorsport BMW of Van der Water. We tried a couple of laps. We expected to be able to realize that pole position, but you still have to do it, right? In the end, it worked out, so we're very happy to start from pole tomorrow. And these are the results of qualifying, with the Totalplan Racing Lamborghini beating the PK Carsport Audi, and another Lamborghini of Russell Racing in third. Off to race day then at PK Carsport. Former driver Anthony Kumpen is now the team manager.
Ja, ik vind het best wel spannend.
I find it quite exciting. I can definitely contribute to the team, and it's a completely different way to experience a race, and I quite like it. You're standing here next to the Audi. How is that car? Well, the Audi is doing very well. We had a really good season last year. We were European champion, Belgian champion. We won Dubai. We also won the 24 Hours of Zolder. So we know the car well now, but we were still able to make some improvements, and for now it's quite fast.
En voorlopig in de eerste trainingen was het heel snel.
And then it's time to start the first race of the 2023 Belcar Endurance Championship. 2 pit stops are mandatory, and there are points in each of the 4 classes. This is the Totalplan Racing Lamborghini. It will be Kenneth Lindhout that will take the start. And on the PK Carsport Audi, it will be Bert Langin with his well-known golden helmet. This beautiful red Lamborghini of Russell Racing is in the hands of Christophe Corton at the start. And he's sharing the second row with this Porsche of Belgium Racing, which will be driven by Dylan de Dale. And then it's time for the first start of the 2023 season of full grid. 34 cars at the start. We're driving with Christophe Corton in the number 2 Lamborghini. And how will Kenneth Lindhout do in the other Lamborghini of Totalplan Racing? He misses the start a bit, and Corton takes the lead inside of the first corner. And that was not a good start from the Totalplan Racing Lamborghini. It's down to 4th already, being chased by Jos Manton in the second of the Belgium Racing Porsches. Good start for Christophe Corton, taking the lead from the Audi, and then de Dale in the Belgium Racing Porsche. Lindhout is trying to keep up, but he's put under pressure by Jos Manton. And here we go, the top 3, Lamborghini, Audi, Porsche. That's all everybody wants to see. Fight between these 3 prestigious manufacturers. And then there's an issue already for this Porsche, the number 54 car of Laurecen and Rau. And there's safety car as well, the first safety car of the race, with some debris on the front straight. Top 3 continuing with Langin, putting some pressure on his former teammate Christophe Corton. And here is Corton, and he's losing the Lamborghini in the canal corner. That will cost him.
Van in het begin van de start.
Right from the start, the rear of the car was pretty loose, and I don't think it had anything to do with high tire pressure, because it really was there from the beginning of the race. And I tried to control it, but it got worse and worse. And then at unpredictable moments, the car just began to slide. So a lot of time in the canal corner, and now we need to investigate the issue. The red and racing Porsche of Father and Son van Rompuy and Steve van Bellingen managed to keep in the lead lap in the opening hour of the race. And there's small gaps between the different cars, much to the pleasure of the crowd. And then the first pit stop of the Totalplan Racing Lamborghini.
We zijn gestart op de eerste plaats.
We started in first, and but the Lamborghini and the Audi passes pretty quickly together with the Porsche. But I was able to follow for quite a long time, but eventually I couldn't keep up with the pace anymore. Maybe it was also my own fault, my conditions are not great, and it was also very hot in the car. But for now we are fourth, so I think Cedric and Mario will be able to close that gap. Cedric and Mario, that's Cedric Quattros and Mario Martley, the other two drivers of that Lamborghini. So now Bert Longin is leading, and it's the time for the first pit stop at the PK Car Sport crew.
Ik wist dat we eigenlijk 70 per uur.
I knew we had to start at 70 kilometers an hour and had to choose between second and third gear. I choose second, and therefore I was too fast on the limiter. So I didn't have a good start, but it was a good stint. Pit stop for Belgium Racing with Dylan Dedale getting out, giving the steering wheel to Michael Cole. 60-second pit stop, pit in, pit out for these cars. It's 75 seconds for the Lamborghini and the Audi GT2.
Ik heb mijn halve banden moeten rijden.
I had to drive with half-worn tyres, and that wasn't easy. I hope Dylan can make up for that now with the other tyres. But it was quite tricky, and there was a lot of traffic. Off to the smaller GT category, GTB, and there's a great scrap between these two M4 GT4s of Hannover Motorsport and BMS Motorsport. The BMS one was driven by Raf van Bellen.
Het gaat redelijk hard, hè? Dus als je kan zien.
As you can see, it's going pretty fast, isn't it? We came up from fourth, and then before the start, we agreed to save the tires a bit, but also said I wanted to go with the leaders in the beginning of the race, and that worked out well. But we couldn't do a lot about the Hannover BMW. Their pace was too fast, especially if you wanted to save the tires a bit. So I let them go. I tried to keep a regular pace and save the tires a bit.
Heel te houden.
Good tactics for the BMS car. In third in GTB is the Clavers Zahlen BMW. 2026 Gamschi's Motorsport BMW in fourth. A good start for Koenigs and the Keersmaker, but then they dropped a bit and they finished the first hour of the race in sixth position.
De start was eigenlijk vrij goed.
The start was quite good. At the canal corner I had almost passed all the other GTB cars. But well, for whatever reason I couldn't keep them behind me. They purely empowered just passed me on the straight.
Alle twee op rechter en over.
One position ahead of Gino Koenigs was the 14 BMW of Borgmans and de Witte, the car from Alni Max Racing. The lone Porsche GTB, the one of Baines and Van den Broek, had already lost some time.
Het is, ik denk voor iedereen een beetje nieuw om...
It's a matter for everyone to get back to it in this first race weekend. With our new car, it's always a bit of a search to what to do, but we are going to make the best of it, of course. And that's the end of part one of our report. Back in Zolder for the opening round of the Belcar Endurance Championship 2023. We are 1 hour into the race, and in the TA category, Junior Plankart and Mathis Liesmond are doing very well.
Het is een beetje zoals een diesel.
It's a bit like a diesel. I have to get back to it slowly. In the last race I drove here, I went off, so I need to build up some confidence first. But all in all, everything went well. The Cupra TCR of Van den Hove is in 14th overall and leading the TA category. Good performance from the youngster.
Ik had niet een superstart voor.
I didn't have a super start, and I quickly lost the 2 positions. But after 2 laps I was able to take them back and build up a lead over the other cars in the class. 42 BMW of Petrie and Cooper, the car of Precon Racing, is in second in the category, and the small Hannover car of Verhoeven and Verheyen is in third. Fourth in TA is in the hands of the Rovix Racing BMW, driven by De Koning and Vassen. To TB then, the smaller of the 2 touring car categories. The VDW Motorsport BMW of Van der Water and Van Geel is leading that category. closely followed by the 34 of JJ Motorsport. And then it's the 69 of Luhmann and Barton. IC Motorsport BMWs, plenty of BMWs of course in this category. Bullick, and Dirks are in 5th after 1 hour of racing. With this small Abarth competing as well, having a hard time to keep up. Back to the GTA category then, the leading category of the big GTs. 2 hours into the race, the Van Rompuy family with Stephen Belling in the red, and Porsche is still in 9th, while the Russell Racing Lamborghini is making up for lost time. In 8th after 2 hours of racing. It's a pity about that spin early on, and they had some issues later on as well. John DeWitt is trying to do the full race all by himself, and he's in 6th after 2 hours, but would retire a bit after that. Vidal and Cole in 5th with their Porsche. The Vidal taking over from Michael Cole. Crucial pit stops these. 2 mandatory pit stops in a 3-hour race. And off they go. Dylan Vidal trying to make up time. Michiel Haverans and Philip Wills in the red and racing Porsche in a very good 4th position. With Jos Menton and Chris Wouters now fighting for a podium finish. And that is a bit better than they had expected. A very good performance of the experienced duo.
Koen zei ons gisteren als we top 5...
Koen told us yesterday that you would be happy with the top 5, but now you're fighting for the podium. Yeah, I think it looks good for the podium if we can keep up this for a while. Of course, we have some strong opponents that we have to fight against, but another now and then we'll know. Very philosophical from Jos Menton. In the PK car spot Audi, Stinus Lanja has taken over from Peter Gullings to start the final stint. And he's trying to close the gap towards the leader.
Stinus moet natuurlijk nog even door het verkeer. Dus
Stinus still have to go through traffic, of course, and we'll lose a few more seconds. But it will come down to it, to the final laps, but it's fun after 3 hours of a competition. It's still Cedric Quattros at the wheel of the Lamborghini of Totalplan Racing. Mario Martley hasn't taken the wheel. Still leading though. GTB. The Kenis Keersmaker de Jonge BMW is in 3rd. Making up for some lost time in the beginning of the race. It's chasing the 45 BMS BMW, but then it's involved in an incident.
Zo ben je aan het winnen en vervolgens...
1 minute you're winning and the next minute you're in the gravel trap. Yes, it can all change very quickly. We just got through that we were hit by an Audi and he felt a little bit of a vibration. Now the car is in the gravel trap. So I'm afraid the race is over. The Hoon family is leading the category.
Tevreden over jullie pitstop?
Happy with your pit stop? Yes, definitely happy with the pit stop. The guys were hesitating if they had to change tyres. But since there was a full course yellow when I came in, we decided to change anyway. The car started to lose its balance, so we thought it was for the best. Also had a bit of a lead, so we'll see. There's still a long way to go. In TA then, after 2 hours of racing, good performance of the Verhoeven Verein Hannover car. But it's still the GT Racing Cupra TCR that is leading the category. In TB with 1 hour to go, Van der Water and Van Geel are still leading the race. It's still being chased by the 34 JJ Motorsport BMW, but it has lost a bit of ground. And then it's the final laps for the leading Lamborghini of the Totalplan Racing team. And it wins the first round of the Belcar Endurance Championship 2023.
Ja,
Yeah, the season couldn't start better. It looked pretty good when I took the wheel of the car again. It was still quite okay on those used tires. And I pushed really hard to try and get back track position. That worked out pretty well. Of course, that full course yellow at the end threw a bit of a spanner in the works, and I saw the Audi get really, really close. And then it was a matter of having a good restart, immediately creating a gap. But yeah, you can't get off to a better start than this. Cedars Longchamp indeed came a bit close to the Lamborghini when there was a full course yellow and safety car in the final laps of this race. But the Lamborghini had a better restart and Longchamp had to settle for second place.
Ik heb na de safety car blijven pushen.
I kept pushing after the safety car, but the gap stayed about the same. I tried everything, but 5 minutes before the end we knew it was unfeasible.
5 minuten voor het einde dat het onhaalbaar was.
Maar toch tevreden met de tweede
Still happy with second? Yes, I think so. It's a good start to the season. Of course, we always want to win, but I think we have to be happy with second, given the difference in qualifying. I'm pretty happy with this. Dylan de Dalle took advantage of that final safety car to close the gap to teammate Koen Wouters and overtook him to take third. I'm happy with the team. The car was sublime, but we see that we still have some work to do on the BOP, and I hope that will be sorted out soon and that we can have a fair fight. But it's going to be okay.
Ja, komt goed hè?
The BOP, the balance of performance, of course, always an issue in these kind of championships. In the GTB category, it was a great win for the Verhoeven family, even finishing in 10th overall. They beat the Borkmans, the Witte BMW. Great start to the season for them as well, for Alan and Max Racing. In TA, it was a great win for Verhoeven and Verheyen for the other Hannover car.
Heel mooi verlopen.
It went very well. At the last change, we noticed that the tyres were very worn, but we still took the risk to continue driving on the same set of timers in order to lose as little time as possible. And that was a good choice with a happy ending.
Goed gekozen, happy end.
That meant that the Cupra TCR of Wim Brad, Maxime and Gunther van den Hove had to settle for second in the TA category, but still a great race for that Cupra.
We zijn absoluut tevreden.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. We did very good qualifying. My son did that, and he's only 18, so I think there's a lot of potential there. The race itself was a bit more difficult. We had some issues with the brakes. They always got too hot, and we couldn't go as fast as we wanted, especially at the end, but we're all gone. Third place in TA went to the daughters, Kenies and Keersmaker. Pretty good start to the season for them as well, as was the win over Nico van Geel and Ron van der Water in the 83 BMW in the TB category.
Nico van Geel, eerste wedstrijd.
Nico van Geel, first race and immediately won. You must be happy.
Tevreden?
Ja, zeer tevreden.
Yes, I'm very happy. We were able to build up a nice lead. At the end, we had a collision, so it was a bit tense, but we made it to the end, and we are very happy with that.
Heel blij mee.
The final rankings of the TB category, the JJ Motorsport BMW of Wax and Works finished in second, with the Convents BMW, the 51, finishing in third. So it's the first podium of the year, with the Totalplan Racing Lamborghini winning it from the PK Car Sport Audi and the Belgium Racing Porsche. Next round of the Belcar Endurance Championship, beginning of June at Spa-Francorchamps. See you then.